Sandra all the time is here with the cold hard truth. She's the ears and the eyes for me and you. Every day, everyone want to hear from Sandra. And every time on the air. Sandra all the time is here with the cold hard truth. She's the ears and the eyes for me and you. Every day, everyone want to hear from Sandra. And every time on the air, she's getting better. Tell your sister, tell your brother, tell your mama to call Sandra in the morning and in the evening. They always calling Sandra. And when they start fighting, they calling Sandra.
That's right, folks. Everyone is telling their mama about the cold hard truth. Welcome to another episode with more truth-telling, more problem-solving, and of course, more tea spilling than ever before. Sit back, students, grab your tea and turn up the volume because class is now in session. Call in at 936-2626 because your voice matters. Share your opinion on issues that matter the most to you. All right. Good morning. Good morning, beautiful folks. How is everybody doing this lovely Wednesday morning? Hope you guys are well. Hello. Gosh, we've been having some weird, I think it's internet, but I'm not even sure, where everything just goes bloops and disappears. So hopefully, we can hold it down during the show this morning, and we can have a seamless show. However, if for some reason that doesn't happen, oh gosh, we'll have a backup plan. We may have to restart everything. I'm not quite sure what's causing it, but we'll keep an eye on it. And tech issues sometimes happen. I've just swapped from one provider to another provider, so that hopefully, and let me just close out some of these applications, because I don't want anything to overload the machine, honey child. I've just closed out my video editing one, because I know that requires a lot of CPU, ICU. Yeah, honey child. So hopefully that's going to be all right. All right, we'll keep an eye on it. Okay. All right. I got y'all. So good morning, lovely folks. Man, there's so many moving parts and so much to what happens behind the scenes that people don't often know. And, we just keep it moving, honey jail. I've got to stay on top of things, learning constantly, researching, figuring out what's going on. And that means that I can bring you guys, let me turn on this light 1 second here. I can bring you more accurate information, because there's so much going on. I think it was Miss Omeria yesterday was asking about the light that was right behind me. I've actually moved it. It's that green light that you see over there. And I have the app where I can change that to different colors. So the positioning of having it right behind me was actually really, really challenging. I would love if I had more space. And it's not so much more space in here that's the issue. This is actually a pretty small room. A lot of people think it's huge, but if I had not more space, but if I had dedicated space where there was nothing else going on here, like this was all my room. But you got to compromise sometimes. And so this is my regular office that, I've got all my stuff, computers and gear and whatever. My husband says he's going to give me a gear closet. And I finally figured out what's wrong with me. I was telling somebody this last night. I have something called gas. Not the regular kind of gas that makes you go farty. Occasionally I may get that, but that's not what this is. This is gear acquisition syndrome. A term that describes seemingly uncontrollable impulse to buy, you guessed it, gear. Oh my gosh. It's challenging. Now, I'm sure, I'm not as bad as some people. And sometimes people don't, a non-tech person, non-content creator doesn't understand why I buy certain gear in multiples. So say, for example, I have a wireless mic system that I love that works really, really well with my iPhone. Very, very simple setup. iPhone, tripod, mics, bam, I can record audio 99.99999% of the time is perfect. So I discovered this one a couple years ago. It's fantastic. I love it. Allows me to do a lot of what we call gun and shoot. Like I'm on the run, gunning it, shooting content, bam, done. And so I have one that is completely unboxed, still in the plastic. My husband's like, why do you need this? You have this already. And I'm like, listen, if something happens tomorrow to the one that I have, it stopped working, it get wet, Zeus decides to grab it and chew on it. It gets ran over by a car. Things happen to equipment. Then what am I going to do? I'm down a mic. And what if I have interviews scheduled? I can't run and jump on Amazon. So, I got to have a backup plan for the really important gear. Oh, honey child, you got to turn down the radio when you call. All right. When y'all call, you've got to turn the radio off. I need to find an AI tool that pre-answers my phone calls for me and then puts you on hold. Does that exist yet? That would be on my wish list. So when you call, it says, please be reminded, you're going to be patched through to a live talk show right now. So that would be fantastic if you could turn your radio off, because then I hear all that feedback and I can't hear a word you're saying. All right, call back if you decide to turn the radio off, honey child. Good morning to the usual suspects. Everybody's in class today. Miss Speak Your Mind. Ooh, I like that name. Evelyn, Diamond Princess, Everton, how are you doing? Keeping dry. Hopefully we've been getting some rain here in Cayman. Wee, Deborah, Damaris, NYC, KYC, NYC. Miss Jean, good morning to you, lovely. She said, just came from my 7-mile run on 5 Mile Beach. Well, it's never been 7 miles, to be fair. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sandy.
Morning.
You're not on Bobo.
Oh, I'm not?
No, you're not on the radio at all.
Okay. Let me see. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
I think when it stopped earlier, it disconnected the radio as well. All right, give me 1 second. I'm supposed to be able to, I wish it would alert me when I'm not, because of course, I don't know if you guys don't tell me. All right, give me 1 second. I'm going to restart it on radio, which means I have to play a little music bed to get that AI tool to recognize that we're live. So 1 second. Let's play Find a Way Out.
People talking. What are they talking about? This world's gone crazy, and I'm trying to find a way out. Nobody knows where we're going, or if we're going at all. Nobody cares if we sin, if we have nowhere to fall. It's a singing symphony, playing as the ship goes down. It's a porcelain epiphany, breaking if it hits the ground. I gotta find a way out.
All right. Isn't that an amazing song? I absolutely love that song. I have the name. I need to find out who sings it. Okay, so yes, thank you so much to Miss Marge there for letting us know that we were not. Some of you were messaging on WhatsApp that I wasn't reading those messages. Thank you guys for letting me know. We should now be on radio. Good morning to Bobo listeners. Happy Wednesday. Yeah, my Chrome crashed, and I guess I need to restart everything. Someone said to me, pleasant good morning, angels, looking beautiful and bright this morning. Anytime you call PPM's name, they're so demonic, things even to the equipment don't like them. Oh my gosh, no. Trust and believe when I tell you that, equipment is man-made, internet's man-made, Chrome is man-made, and, sometimes technology has a problem. Considering how we live stream most days, now remember I'm coming up with my little annual 2-week vacation next week. So I won't see you guys for 2 weeks. I'm going to miss you and I know you're going to miss me. But considering how often we stream and all the stuff that we do, I think we have a pretty good uptime. I mean, it's seldom that there's an issue, and when it is, normally internet related. Occasionally the PC needs to be restarted. So we're good. I try not to complain. Remember on Friday, we're talking about how we must be thankful. Now, are all of my guests here? I see 2 of you. Are we going with 2? I can't remember if Miss Laura was going to be joining us. Yeah, she said, I won't be on, but please copy me. Right. So let's go ahead and get started with our guests. We're going to talk about a really wonderful youth event this morning. And then after that, as Johan says, who's getting blazed up today? Well, the entire government, honey chair. All right, we ready? We've got Mr. Colin. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Sandra. I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Yes, I'm fantastic. Colin Anglin, former director of sports here in the Cayman Islands. And he's been involved in sports from when Jesus was a baby, his entire life. So Colin loves sports, in particular basketball. He's a basketball fan, and he does a lot of amazing events. He does the annual Cayman Classic event, of course, which you guys will be familiar with. But really and truly, it's all about seeking to empower our young people all around everything that has to do with, healthy exercises, healthy activities, which includes basketball and sporting events. So thank you so much for coming on the program today. And we also have Mr. Dom, who is with the DART organization. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. I'm well, thank you.
Yeah, so good to see you. So, Mr. Dom, I know that the DART organization is partnering with the NBA and having 5 days worth of basketball events. So we want you guys to tell us all about it. Maybe, Colin, you're the best person to kind of start off telling us what the event is.
I think for that, I would like to pass that to Dom.
All right, pass the ball.
Yeah, sure.
I certainly have enough to say, but let me let Dom lead on this one here.
Yes.
No, I'm happy to lead the way on it. This is obviously our second year. For those of you that were fortunate enough to participate last year, I think, it was a pretty exciting week, and we're looking forward to doing it again. So really what it's about, as you said, is empowering young people and giving them opportunities to do great things and to use the power of sport in order to drive that and be a part of their growth and we really just for us for the DART organization, the goal is to see as many kids out there as possible having fun, whether they're regular basketball players, whether they're new to the game, whether they're just interested to come out and see what's going on and see if they can be a part of it as well. We just want to get as many out there and take advantage of a great opportunity of this multi-year partnership with one of the largest sporting organizations in the world. There's probably no better known brand in the sporting world than the NBA, I would say. It's definitely a huge opportunity, and we're excited to put it all together again with, of course, the help of Colin and the Basketball Association and a number of other people as well. So just really, really happy that it's going ahead, and want to get as many kids out there as we possibly can. So we'll tell you how to do that over the next couple of minutes.
Yes. So it's the Junior WNBA slash Junior WBA week event. Is it sort of like a camp then, would you say?
So Sandra, it's a matter of a few events that are actually
Mhm.
taking place. So
Okay.
on Wednesday, November 13th, there's actually a clinic for
Yes.
Special Olympics athletes.
Oh,
So
wow.
that is something specifically for them, and so it's very magical. It's very very special, no pun intended, when we get to work with our Special Olympics athletes. So we wanted to make sure that there was something specific for them, and so they
Mhm.
get to enjoy different exercises, that are catered to their abilities.
Mhm.
And then on Thursday, the 14th of November, there's something very specific called Her Time to Play, and that is specifically a clinic, just that one evening from 3:30 to 6:30 p.m. for all females aged 10 to 17, and that is specifically for girls.
Mhm.
Girls only. That's a special clinic for females, all right? And they'll be taught by special guest coaches from the Junior NBA. They'll learn, on-court training sessions and things like that. Now, in terms of Her Time to Play, the reason why you see this is because one of the overarching pillars for FIBA, the governing body for basketball. It's called Women and Girls in Basketball. So
Mhm.
it's something very specific. We want to increase the participation, the love, and the enthusiasm for girls and women in the sport of basketball. So
Mhm.
of course, you're not going to accomplish that without doing more things for them, right? We want to see more participation there, so that's what that event is about.
Yeah, and
Then
you see the Colin, just to jump in, you'll see the information up on the screen. The Sandy has it up on
Mhm.
the screen there, which is great. Obviously, it's free for all girls aged 10 to 17, as you said, and for that particular
Yes.
part of the event, you can self-register. So that's one is just to shoot an email to community@dart.ky, and Laura and the team
Mhm.
will get the girls registered for that one. There's a few different. Only reason I say that is because there's a few different things going on and a few different
Yeah.
ways that you can participate. So for this particular one, email
Yeah.
that address and get you signed.
Yeah, so it's the Kimana Bay Arts and Recreation Center is a location. So that's Thursday, November the 14th. You still almost got a full month. That's the day of the event, but don't wait till the last minute because I'm sure there's some capacity limits here. So they're going to be doing
yeah,
on-court training and off-court life skills lessons. Again, led by visiting coaches from the Junior NBA, and it's seeking to help girls build their confidence and learn values from teamwork, discipline, and leadership, completely free for girls ages 10 to 17. So this is an amazing event, folks. You have young girls. Please, I wish I had a 10-year-old. She's still 8. Not quite ready, but this would be one of those activities that is wholesome and, free of cost and allows young people, especially young girls, who sometimes get left out of sporting events. I'm glad to see that there's a special segment just for them to be completely inclusive.
yep. And like Dom said, we want to encourage all parents to please sign your daughters up via
Mhm.
that email as soon as possible, because of course there is only a certain amount of space in the gym.
Mhm.
So wish that we could hold everybody, but unfortunately there's not enough capacity to do that. So please, if you want to get your daughters involved in that, please email as soon as possible to get them registered. It's very
Mhm.
very simple, so please make sure to do that.
Yeah.
um, and then on Friday is going to be a very cool skills challenge, right? So we'll have
Mhm.
some of our top athletes, teenagers, of course, that will be able to participate in that and kind of show their stuff in front of the Junior NBA folks.
Mhm.
And then on Saturday, November 16th, that's when I guess you could say the heavy meat and potatoes come in. That's the
Mhm.
actual 3x3 tournament.
Mm.
And so, last year, don't correct me if I'm wrong, but I know that I think there was over 50 teams last year.
Wow.
Yeah,
Uh,
there was, and definitely from the on the tournament perspective, there's absolutely a capacity issue because we have to fit in all the games, all the rounds of the tournament, and everything else like that. So
Mhm.
Just quickly back to the skills challenge, Colin. Just to make sure that everyone's aware that those participants for the skills challenge will be selected. So they'll be asked to come along and participate from the programs that they're in already. Just because obviously we want to make sure that they're at a certain skill level, and the coaches are the ones that know that. So that one is sort of almost a selection criteria. And then for the 3x3 tournament, the registration is being done through the schools. So do check in with your PE teachers at the schools. However, if they're not participating, you can reach out to the same email address and we will find a team for you, because as we said, we want to encourage as much participation as we can. We know that some of the schools are a bit smaller. They may not have enough basketball players, and we'll combine some teams to make sure that those kids have an opportunity as well until we reach the capacity for the tournament. So email that same community@dart.ky email address if your school's not participating and you're really keen to do so, and we can make that happen.
Fantastic. All right. So we get some dates up on the screen, folks. Go ahead and screen grab this or write it down. We'll re-air this particular segment as well so that as many people know about it as possible. But we've got the clinic on the Wednesday for the Special Olympic athletes in the ARC, and that's from 5 to 6:30 p.m. From 5:30, my apologies, to 6:30 p.m. And interested participants for that can register directly through the Special Olympics Cayman Islands organization. And then on the Thursday is the Her Time to Play clinic, which is for young ladies, young girls, ages 10 to 17, in the ARC from 3:30 until 6:30 p.m. And again, any parent, athletes who are interested, and that it can contact community@dart.ky. So just email them and they'll give you further instructions on what needs to happen. And then the Friday now is the skills challenge. So how do people get selected for the skills challenge?
Yeah, again, so in regards to the skills challenge, because it does require a certain amount of skill for it, those ones are actually selected through the various basketball association programs or ACX, which is another fantastic organization led by a good friend of ours, Mr. Sefu Bernard. He's actually a WNBA. He's on the WNBA coaching staff. So very fortunate to be able to have those kinds of resources here in Cayman as well. So the children are basically selected through those programs there, and of course you have to be at a certain skill level basically to take part in that. Otherwise, it's
a skill-based event. That's all we need to know. We understand.
However, everyone else is welcome to come along and watch. We encourage people to come along and see what's going on. So if they're not participating and they're available that evening, then come along to the event and see what's happening.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's still an exciting atmosphere, and of course those kids will know who they are and stuff. So any friends, parents,
family,
come there and cheer it on, because of course the crowd is what also makes that very exciting. And so last year it was the same thing. It was a great atmosphere. The kids were cheering on their peers and stuff like that. So that's really good. Something important for everybody to know too in regards to the 3x3 tournament, which takes place on the Saturday and Sunday. The Saturday is going to be starting a little bit later in the day. But and on the Sunday as well, it starts in the early afternoon, which the Sunday portion is going to be more of the playoffs. So on the Saturday, it's a general round robin. Everybody plays a certain amount of games, and then those that advance to the playoffs, which is the real knockout round of the tournament, then they finish off on Sunday afternoon. But the age group categories are 12 and under, 14 and under, and then this year it's actually been added in a 16 and under age group. So yeah. So
all right, good spread there for everybody to participate.
Exactly. And it's very good for in terms of keeping it balanced and competitive, that you have those age groups broken up that way. That way you don't have a 16-year-old competing against a 12-year-old, right? That's not going to be much of a competition. So the kids are they benefit from it so much more because it's age appropriate.
And
Yes.
the uniforms for the teams, the NBA branded uniforms, are also provided free of charge. So I know that was
Mhm.
a really big hit last year, and that will
Mm.
be happening again this year.
Oh, fantastic. So, this is an amazing event. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming on and telling us a bit about this. Now, Dominique Ross, he is the DART Asset and Community Portfolio Manager. And they like to get involved in these community activities that really support youth and everything from, I know you guys support so many activities. I think the robotics team, are they away at the moment? I think I remember
I think
something.
they're back from the global challenge.
Yeah, we need to get them on the show as well to talk about that. But tell us a little bit from the organizational perspective, Dom, why the DART Foundation, the Kenneth B. DART Foundation, supports amazing events like this.
Yeah, sure. I mean, the organization, since it's come to the Cayman Islands, has supported, various and numerous, I should say, community-based organizations, and we continue to do that. It's very important to be, part of the community. It's a very important community to the organization. It starts home base, so to speak, and uh, just to give back something to the community is.
Mm-hmm.
So has always been important to the family. They obviously have education has been the Dart family's priority over the years, but that's not to say that that other areas of community involvement don't take place as well. So
Mm-hmm.
we're definitely very active in that area. You don't always hear about it, and sometimes that's deliberate. But I can assure you that there is a lot going on and a lot of community support that does
Mm-hmm.
happen. So as I manage a considerable amount of that with some other people in the organization. So
Mm-hmm.
we entertain we on the dart.ky website. You can find the links in the community section of that website to apply for funding. There's
Mm-hmm.
some quite specific rules along there that you can look at to say this might be considered, this might be considered, in terms of whether that's a sponsorship for a nonprofit, or sorry, support for a nonprofit, or a corporate sponsorship, which is viewed a little bit differently, but also
Mm-hmm.
same application process, so just a slightly separate button for that.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously the Minds Inspired Dart Scholar program is widely publicized and well
Mm-hmm.
known, and has been around for a long time now.
Yes.
But that's probably the biggest investment. As I said, education is the priority, but there's a lot more going on as well, and we're happy
Mm-hmm.
to be part of the community and to assist in any way we can.
Wonderful. And Colin, of course, like I introduced you, saying how committed you are to the world of sports. I know that you love basketball. You do several events throughout the year geared at getting young people in particular more engaged and more involved. What's your vision for sports, generally speaking, in the Cayman Islands, but even specifically basketball? I mean, this is amazing to have junior NBA, people, coaches, and so on, coming and participating and being in our small little island.
Thanks, Sandra. So in terms of the Basketball Association, I've been the president now for about a year and a half, and our vision is very simple, and that is to positively impact the lives of people through basketball. Right? I've always believed, and of course, in the words of the great Nelson Mandela, he said sports has the power to change the world. It has the power to inspire and to unite people in a way that little else does, and it speaks to youth in a language they understand.
Mm-hmm.
So really, that's what it's about. It's about using the sport of basketball as a tool to
Mm-hmm.
positively impact somebody's life. Not everybody that plays the sport is going to end up going professional, but beyond that, sports does so much more for that child's life in terms of teaching them real life skills. And I'm certainly a product of that. I mean, growing up, it was, but sports was just a huge part of my life. So in realizing that, I serve in this position, and with an incredible team of, very committed and passionate people who are like-minded, and just all about giving their time to make an impact. And we see it as just paying it forward, because when we were growing up, people did it for us. Somebody did it for us. So really, to be honest, I see it as the least that I could do. It's an obligation as far as I'm concerned, but but something that I feel honored to do so. So that's really what it's about. It's about how we can make an impact positively in the lives of people that can get involved in programs. So very happy to be able to support Dart and the Junior NBA to make this event possible, because life is all about moments. And for some child, this moment could be something that could shift the trajectory of their life. It could be something that it'll be something for many that they'll hold on to for the rest of their life. When I was a Los Angeles Laker for that day, I was a Milwaukee Buck. I was, I was number 30 Warrior. Life is made of just these special moments. And so they go a long way in building a child's confidence and the belief in themselves, and for them feeling special. And that's something you can't take away once you plant that seed in them. So, so that's what it's about.
Yeah, wonderful. All right, folks, how can people reach out to you if they want more information about the Basketball Association?
Yep, I think just use that community@dart.ky email address, and that'll be the first point of contact, and the team will definitely respond from there.
Yes, Colin, for the specifically the Basketball Association.
Sure, yeah. So you can email us at info@caymanbasketball.com. Our website itself is caymanbasketball.com. We got a lot of great information on there as well. And if you have anything basketball related in the Cayman Islands, you'll probably find on our website, or we'll know something about it. So,
all right, fantastic. Well, thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having us.
All right,
Thank you, Sandra. Appreciate it.
Thanks too. All right. Wonderful. So parents, get your young kids involved. These are the activities. Sometimes you guys complain so much, and I'm not here for the complaining all the time. And so this is an amazing event that is free, no cost to you. Those of you who talk about having 8 grandchildren that you can't buy a $10 popcorn for, this one you can take as many as long as they meet the age requirement. You can take them to these different events. Get them signed up, honey child. Get them involved in the community. And big shout out to the DART organization, who does a lot of things, like they say, around education, and a lot of things that they don't talk about. They don't like to talk because they don't want to come across like, oh, they're braggalicious. They don't want to be braggalicious, because then, you guys will interpret that the wrong way. But I say, hey, if you're not beating your own drum, da-dum, who's going to do it for you, honey child? Let me see. Do I have a little drum button? Child, when I come back from holiday, can somebody please remind me that I'm going to get some new sounds, and I'm going to organize all of my, let me see. Nope, that's not the right one. Rim shot. There we go. That's the one I was looking for. Beat your own drum, honey child. I got air horn too. Listen to this one. Yes, big up yourself with the air horn. All right. So yes, we thank you so much for coming on to the program this morning and sharing those amazing tidbits. Miss Pat says sports is an important part in the balance of life. It is. And when you start your young people off early, making them get out of the house, away from that PlayStation game, exercising, away from the TV and the Netflix and whatever, they're more likely to engage in other healthy activities throughout their entire lives once you plant that little seed, as Colin said, the seed of, loving sports and loving sporting events. Make them participate. There's so many amazing events out there, and clubs and organizations that get your kids moving, which is important for lifelong health and wellness. So yeah, basketball is great. And this event, second year now, absolutely amazing. So if you need more information on it, please reach out, community@dart.ky. Good. That's coming up November the 13th through the 16th. All right, honey child. Thank you very much. Well, we got so much to talk about. How's everybody doing? Any birthdays today? Are we celebrating? Oh my gosh. I have to do some condolences. Because Miss Linda, who is an avid listener to the program, oh my gosh, poor thing. She just messaged me early this morning to say that her husband had passed away Monday night in the Cayman Islands, and he was found in his bed on Tuesday morning. Oh my God. That's horrible. We're so sorry to hear that, Miss Linda. We're like a family here on CMR, and when one person has a loss, we all feel a loss. And, Miss Linda and Paul, both from Bermuda, have become an integral part of our CMR family. They're regular listeners to the program almost daily. And so now she's going to be visiting our beautiful island to try to get that sorted out. So we're very, very sorry. Please accept our condolences on behalf of the entire Cayman Islands, and of course here, especially the CMR family. My goodness. Wow. Well, I guess we all have to go that route, but it's never an easy situation to be in for sure. Ay. Okay, sounds like it was very sudden too. Oh my gosh. Andy joining us from La Ceiba. Buenos dias, ¿cómo estás? All right. So, good morning to everyone. Yes, I'm willing to admit this morning that I have a problem, and my problem might need some intervention. But like I was saying, sometimes people don't understand why I'm purchasing certain gear in multiples. So my husband's like, "Why do you need this microphone? You already got one." I said, honey, chill. But if something happens to that one, what am I going to do? Order it in Amazon, got to find somebody to go away for it, yada, yada, yada. It's not so easy. The challenge is, let me tell y'all something. If I lived in the States, oh my God, I probably would be a shopaholic for real. Because the concept of being able to order something off of Amazon and get it at your doorstep delivered, sometimes within hours of you ordering it, it's like, bam, it's there. Same day delivery. It's amazing how they do it. I don't even know how they do it. I just think it's amazing. And so, but of course, here we live in the Cayman Islands. And what that means for us is that, it takes a minute for us to be able to get things ordered. And it's not so easy. All right, folks. I think it's fair to say that today is just going to be one of those challenging days for us in terms of tech. I actually think the issue is Chrome, believe it or not. It seems like Chrome keeps crashing. And what we do, like how we connect to the station as well as the regular feed, is actually via Chrome. So I did notice a little something last night in relation to it as well. So we'll keep an eye on it and we will just push through. You know, not every day is going to be perfect, loves. Some days you just get up and you just keep pushing forward, honey child. Mm-hmm. And that exactly is what we're going to do this morning. All right. Thank you. Big shout out to my tech assistant in the background who shall remain nameless this morning. Aliano says, hey, it's not a problem if you pay for it. Pay for what? Sai says it can be delivered overnight. Oh, I know. Well, you know, the problem, Sai, is, yeah, I can get it to Miami quickly. I just can't get it to Cayman as quickly. So that's the conundrum that I'm often in with these things. And then sometimes things are not, I mean, I know Amazon's amazing. They've got millions of products and whatever, but occasionally you find things that are out of stock or on back order or, you know, things happen. So you got to just make sure you got a plan B. It's important to plan your life, honey child. And plan your life means having contingency plans in place as well. And so, sometimes my contingency plan is having another piece of equipment. I don't know if you guys remember, I don't want to jinx myself even talking about this, but remember when my, on my other streaming PC, when the board, not the board, it was the graphics card went, and then all of a sudden you can't operate a computer that is meant for streaming without a graphics card. So I was up, you know what creek? Yeah. And I had to try to run around. Very few people in Cayman had the type of graphics card that is required to do what I do. And of course, it's like outdated and it might not work with your board. And then you got to pay, 2-3 times what you'd pay elsewhere. So sometimes you need a little backup plan. Thank you, Miss Dakota. Said Miss Linda's from Jamaica. May her husband rest in peace. Well, she lives in this Linda is from Bermuda. I'm sure of it. So, I mean, I don't know. That, of course, Linda is a very popular name, so maybe there's another Linda. All right, you hearing me okay? Now, Miss Omeria? Julian said, I think we spoke too soon. So Marshall says it's easy to get it here same day and within hours because they have a big Amazon warehouse down the road in most states and cities. I know. I actually discovered that they have one in, is it Lakeland, Florida? There's a hub, a really, really important distribution hub right there. So even during the storms, I noticed that a lot of things that were being ordered the last week or so. Initially, it was like, oh, Amazon Prime, but then it was like some sort of a delay because after you ordered it, it was taking longer to actually get to you. So yeah, listen, Amazon is a big conglomerate and they have their stuff together. That's more than we can say about the government of the Cayman Islands. I'm just saying, they definitely do not have it together. Let's talk about it. What a hot mess. Ay. All right. So, I have been talking for a minute now. This is really nothing earth shattering. That I have been talking for a minute about the fiscal issues that this country is facing. And I know that some of you listen to me and you're probably just thinking to yourselves, oh, Sandy just being a naysayer and, it's not going to be that bad. Remember when I told y'all about this cola last week? And I said, this doesn't feel good. This is a problem because I know the government's fiscal position is, it should be PAP. Piss, you fill in the blank, poor. It's not good. I mean, they're missing economics, not even economics, budgeting 101, finance 101, and they are hemorrhaging financially and putting this country in a world of trouble. And you can't sit down, even as civil servants, listen, civil servants, come a little closer to me. I know that you guys are the biggest voting bloc in this country. And I also know that one second. I also know that the government is aware that you guys are the biggest voting blocs in this country. And so they're going to pander to you superficially as much as they possibly can. But you cannot allow someone to bring a false narrative to you and pander to you on the basis that, they're going to buy your vote, because that's exactly what this is. This is the simplest form of vote buying that I've ever seen. It's not a complicated scheme. They're not so bright after all, right? It's not a complicated way to get to you. Oh, we're going to give you a cola. And everybody's like, oh my God, I totally need that cola. Thank you. Thank you, Auntie Julie. Yes, honey child. It's like, really? I mean, are y'all kidding me right now? I'm going to show you a video. Now, the PPM have had their time, and God knows they're not really my favorite people in the world, but I am a very, very fair person. And if somebody says something that is accurate and it makes sense and it's true, then it is what it is. And I can't argue with the truth. You know what I'm saying? I can argue with opinions, but I can't argue with truthfulness. And even if someone is going to mix opinion and facts together, then, you kind of roll with the punches, and it is what it is. So let me play this clip for you, and then we're going to discuss exactly how bad the situation actually is. Just un momento, por favor. So I've been busy. One of the things, if I could clone myself into multiple people, one of my clones would be someone who was a video editing expert, because this is a skill that, oh my God, I wish I really, really had. I really don't. And so I do my little amateur thing here and there. I can actually pay people to do it, but most of the people who I pay to do it don't get how it needs to be done, like what clips are important for discussion. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Miss Sandra. And how are you today?
My dear, as Miss Amelia says, blessed and highly favored.
Blessed and highly favored. That is excellent.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I sent you a message telling you how nice your glasses look.
Oh, thank you. Let me see. Yes.
I also said, have you ever thought about contacts?
Oh God. Well, I have, and for a brief time in university when I first started wearing glasses, I did try to wear contacts, but I have an astigmatism, which makes contacts more challenging. And I also, not really a phobia, but I don't like to constantly go at my eyes. So, I actually had LASIK surgery, which was a God-sent procedure for many, many years. I just didn't know it didn't last forever, like everything else in life. But,
I wore contacts in both of my eyes for many, many years, about 20 to 30 years.
Oh,
well,
wow.
I would say about 25 years. But I also have bad stigmatism in one eye. So right now, I get to the stage where I only have to wear one contact.
Oh, okay.
And this is an extended wear that I sleep in. I don't have to take them out for like 2 weeks time. And let me tell you, if there's a father above, I don't even remember that I have something in my eye.
Really?
These ones that I just got are so good. It's like I don't even remember I have them in. I have to write down. I had to write down the date that I pop it in and know the 2 weeks time to take it out, give my eye one night rest, and then pop it in, pop back in another one the next day. So I get my supply for the full year, and let me tell you, it is a blessing. But I didn't really call you about that. Someone called me the other day and they said that they know I will speak on the radio, and they were asking me to call in to let you know You always talk about Miss Juliana. I don't hate Miss Juliana. I don't hate none of the
No,
MPs.
of course not.
I just, I try to work with them and do my best. But this person that works in her department wanted me to know that she treats them so bad.
What? Not the nice Christian lady treating people bad?
I am dead serious. They said she is like a pig in the department, and they'll hope and pray that this being aired, that she will treat them a little better and do better.
What?
She hollers at them. She treat them bad like they're dirt. And this was told to me by someone in the building. So
wow.
I just wanted to air it and hope that she's listening and she hears that her staff is bitterly complaining about her, the treatment that she gives them.
Wow.
Because that is not right. It is I know it is stressful enough when you go to work, when you got to get up so early to cope with the traffic in the morning, cope with it again in the evening after a stressful day. It is stressful enough for people saying, no wonder some of the government workers don't want to go to work.
Wow.
Because they
I mean, that's not nice. That's not, listen, there's a level of professionalism that,
Right. They fear going into work and what they have to face for the day.
Oh
I know I had a job like that one time, and sometimes
it's a lot to handle when you don't want to go to work.
You prefer to call in sick sometimes than to go in because you fear going into the atmosphere. But I just wanted to say it on air and hope that someone bring it to her attention, whether she's listening or not, that her staff is complaining bitterly about the way she treats them and how she conduct herself. Thank you.
Oh my gosh,
and you
thank
have
you so
a wonderful and blessed day.
Yes, I appreciate that. Well, that's something I had no idea about. This person says, not Miss Julie in their best Elvis McKeever voice. Wow. I'm a little bit surprised at that because that's so unprofessional. Like, I mean, I don't know what I expected of her as, like, I never thought about her, to be honest, as a boss, but as someone who professes to be a Christian lady, there's a couple boxes here that aren't really being ticked to add up to what would be Christian like. I don't like people like that. I don't like people because it says something about who they are. You have to go to work and be yelling and screaming at people and going on like a lunatic. Like, why? And mistreating people. Listen, you spend so much of your work life at work that you should at least be treated with a degree of respect, right? You don't have to be friends. I mean, I'm not like this is some friendship circle, but people should be respectful, and being respectful in the workplace can really, really go a long way to productivity as well. People want to work for you if they know that you're, respectful of them and their ideas, and, you're not going to treat them in an unprofessional manner. But you see, what happens with a lot of these MPs is I reckon the position really goes to their head. And they think there's somebody after, 10, 15, in her case, 30 years in office. She probably believes that most of us are beneath her. And, we can't step in her little, geriatric looking shoes. Honey child, please don't get it twisted. That's not a good look for you. And I'm disappointed to hear that she would be stressing out her workers. Jason says truth. He heard that from when he was in the BRAC. Oh my gosh, really? I must admit that I haven't heard this before. So I'm in a little bit of disbelief here this morning. But listen, I don't know. Everybody has bad moments, I'm sure I've been rude to people before in, kind of extreme circumstances when I'm stressed out, Maybe I kind of stress my point a little bit more and I have little patience. Like I don't have the best patience in the world. But when it comes to like being respectful to people, listen, my aunt would slap me bald-headed if I dared to disrespect people, like generally speaking. You know what I'm saying? I don't like disrespecting people. And so even sometimes when I have to tell people off, it requires a different level of energy than y'all realize. And so I just got to get that off my chest. But wow, that's not nice. Auntie Julie, can we please beg you to be nice? No, sir. You poor civil servants. I know y'all be going through the stress. Y'all like, that's why y'all like, Sandy, please just leave us with our cola. That's the least she could do, try to buy us out. Still don't vote for them. Oh my God. Anyway, what a hot mess. Miss Julie, I'm going to ask you this morning, what would Jesus say? What would Jesus do? He would not be mistreating people at work, honey child. You need to reread that Bible now. I'm just saying. Sir Nikula, Cheryl. Good morning. How are you? Damien says lack of leadership and personal skills. It's interpersonal skills, in fact, at the workplace. And, you know, MPs, please, I am asking you all to remember that we, the people, put you there. And just like how we put you there, you can be moved. And so some of y'all need a little bit of an attitude adjustment after a while. Like, seriously. Lord Jesus. Urban Threads says the government is wasting money on unnecessary stuff and should be fixing the road so that Caymanians can have a better quality of life instead of wasting it in traffic. I'm not so sure when you say fixing the road. What do you mean by fixing the road? You mean building the new east-west arterial? Because I don't hear you being very specific about what fixing the road means. Lots of roads are getting fixed and paved, and that's not necessarily going to help you one iota with traffic. However, big shout out to the NRA. They've been doing a really, really good job with doing some expansions here, there, and everywhere. That does seem to make somewhat of a difference. You know, we got 3 lanes now that's being expanded down to Grand Harbor, looks like. I don't know when that is projected to be done. So big shout out to Mr. Edward Howard and his team. Jason says, sounds like a Diddy move. Lord, I don't know if we want to compare anybody to Diddy at the moment. He's like at the lowest end of the ick totem pole. What a mess. Shamar says a little lash out they're going to get for that. I hope she doesn't go in there now and get really mean with him. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sandy.
Good morning, my dear. How are you?
How are you? I'm very well. How are you today?
Good. No, I'm here having a good time.
I am sitting here listening to your show, and
Yes,
I heard
sir.
the caller calling about on behalf of one of Miss Julie's.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit of advice for those that is working under Juliana.
Mm-hmm.
They need to Google
Mm-hmm.
what is a narcissist
Mm-hmm.
or who is a narcissist. And
Okay.
if they understand that, they will
Mhm.
probably be in a better position to cope with the person.
Oh.
Because a narcissist are not too concerned about others.
Right.
They
Yes.
think that whatever they're doing is the right thing
Mm-hmm.
because it's a mindset that they have.
Mm.
They will be shouting at you and think that that's the right thing to do.
Oh my gosh.
And if you
Seriously.
even tell them that it's not right,
Mhm.
they don't believe it. So
So
help
you think
those
she
that's
might
working
be a
under her.
narcissist?
Yeah, I probably.
Yeah.
I've studied those people. And yeah, if you cannot understand them, you'll be
Mhm.
frustrated and probably hate them.
Mm.
But they're not to be hated. They're to be expected to do what they do because that's
Mhm.
who they are. So if they could understand that when they leave home in the morning to go to work, they have to know how to deal or how to get around or play in the game of a narcissist. Because they're not capable of
BK wings are
Oops, sorry. Wow. Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for that. Wow.
I just leave it there.
All right. We'll have to look into that one. Day, thanks. You too.
Okay.
What a heat. What a heat. Narcissists. Yes, sir. They're all over the place. To tell you what. I think we have more narcissists now than ever. Jason says, treat your staff with respect and you won't ever have to worry about your business. Aliana says, I don't know why people are shocked about Juju. She looks like a hard expletive stuck-up prude. Lord have mercy. I mean, being a prude, and that's different than being a bad boss and a narcissist and mistreating people. They're kind of different things. Shamar says they love to threaten civil servants. Well, you know, Shamar, to be fair, we got a little glimpse of this. This is now where I need that clip. The clip that just came to my mind is when she was at that event where the civil service event where she said, "Oh, you know, don't go on CMR because we're watching you and we're recording your phones," and all this bollocks, really, which is ridiculous. Anybody have that clip handy that could send it to me? Somebody send me that clip again. I'm trying to figure out a good way of organizing my content because when I need something, bam, I need to be able to put my fingers on it. But yes, she said this a couple months back, and I thought to myself, okay, it did sound a lot like a threat to the civil servants. And, you know, if you were a civil servant that, number one, believed her, she's like the least tech savvy person ever. But if you were a civil servant that believed her, then, you know, yeah, it sounded very, very threatening. So we get a glimpse occasionally, even in a public environment, of her personality. Urban Thread says, yes, Miss Sandy, but a lot of persons are stressed out to the max when they have to get their kids and themselves up in the morning and leave home so early as 5 a.m. and leave work and get, no, I listen, honey child, I'm in the Eastern District. So I do feel your pain. I don't do the morning run, but I do the evening run. So I feel your pain. But we need to ensure that the solution that's being presented is actually going to solve your problem as much as you think. I'm just saying. The experts have actually spoken on it, and it's going to shave off 5 minutes. Like, you willing to kill yourself for 5 minutes saving time? I don't know, honey child. Mary, good morning to the beautiful Mary. Mary says, unhappy people abuse others in the workplace. Also those that have no power at home. I know who they won't bully / abuse. Then they claim to advocate for mental health so strong. Interesting. And, you know, a lot of civil servants complain about their work environments. Everything from police officers, straight all over the place. And this is one of the things that I wish Mr. Frans Manderson would focus a bit on. Now, of course, I know when it comes to the political arm, maybe he feels like his hands are a bit more tied. I don't know, because some MPs have proven themselves to be bullies as well. And we've talked about those individuals here in the program, AKA Chris Saunders. But I think that there should be more done in the civil service. As Ms. Pat says, there's supposed to be a world-class civil service. She says world-class civil service must begin within, and it begins at the top. Yes, absolutely. Those people should be seeking to lead their organizations by example. I couldn't agree with you more, Ms. Pat. And maybe, you know, somebody can pass this nugget on to Mr. Frans, that he needs to work on the mental health and wellness of his civil servants. And it's not just a cliche. It's not just something for Pox to start sending out emails. Oh, we care. Hashtag we care about you. No, like actually demonstrate that you care. Oh, honey child, if y'all don't learn to turn off your radio, Miss Romelia, turn the radio down.
It was actually the next phone, so I just cut it off.
Lord have mercy. What's going on, honey child? Oh, no.
Good morning.
My phone look like it's almost dead. Oh, my goodness. How are you?
I am blessed and highly favored beyond all measures. How about you?
Yes, same thing, honey child. No complaints.
Yes. Beautiful show yesterday. Beautiful show.
Thank you
as
so
usual.
Much.
When you're being good and nice. You always does a beautiful show when you're being nice. Honey child, let me say something.
Let me be very clear. Your definition of nice is Miss Sandy, don't use any profanity.
Exactly. Exactly.
I got you.
No, I like the topic you're on this morning. And I saw our DG, Mr. Franz Manderson, on Radio Cayman. I think it was last week or week before.
I feel like just stick a pin. I feel like Auntie Julie is forcing him to go over there because she's just injected almost $3 million into Radio Cayman. I wonder what kind of improvements we're going to see. Now we're going to have the Radio of Opulence as well as the School of Opulence. Continue, honey child.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he was talking about bullying in the workplace.
Oh, he
did? Non-tolerant. There's no tolerance. And what have you. But at the end of the day, he knows it's happening. He is aware that it's happening, honey child. You understand? It's look at. I want to call out DCFS, right? Look at that. Look at that entity. Look at that entity. We had two CODs left that department within 1 week. Within 1 week, you have and they're complaining of being bullied by managers, supervisors. They're complaining of being of allowing MPs to bully them, to intervene into the work that they're paid to do, and nothing has been done about it. Nothing is being done about it. There's bullying going on in every sector of government, and which falls under the governor and our DG, and there's nothing doing about it. You understand? It is a shame. It's a shame because you go to work. And bear in mind, we have some of our people, some of our civil servants, let me make it clear, who enjoy their work and who have their heart all set in it. There's some who's only there for the money, just for that paycheck. You understand? But by God, when you find somebody who enjoy, especially a Caymanian, enjoy the work that they do and put their whole heart in it. Under no circumstances should anyone be bullied in the workplace. It is wrong. It is wrong. And this is, I would say, 95% of the reason that we have Caymanians walking off a job today or jobs today is because they're being bullied. And then you hear the term Caymanians are lazy and don't want to work. Oh, Lord, it come in like somebody cuts my skin and lift it and put pepper and salt under it when I hear those words, because it is not accurate. Yes, we have some lazy people, but everywhere in the world you go, you find lazy people. You understand? But we have discrimination going on in our workplace, from especially in government sector. And let me tell you something: the struggle is real. The struggle is real. Caymanians come in like we Caymanians come in like crabs in a bucket. You understand? At times that you're always fighting to see who can get out first or who can get on top, instead of lifting up each other, encouraging each other, because you have expats taking over, Cayman. You have expats taking over the workforce. You understand? And yes, we bring in some, we hire some, and when you look, they bring in their own people and refuse to give Caymanians work. At the end of the day, but we have to cherish our Caymanians that are in the workforce and stop the bullying. They speak it, they need to walk it. It needs to be enforced. You understand? Because it's real. It is real. We Caymanians need to wake up. We need to wake up, and this is where it's time that we speak out to our MPs. We all put you there. We all hire you. We all can fire you. You understand? We need people with Caymanians at heart to see to it that we get our job, we get jobs, employment, that our children, employment is there for our children. You understand? Because then they goes and they hire foreigners, and what foreigners do? Bring in their own people and fill those positions up with people from their country. You understand? Look at DEH, for example, right? The last hiring DEH did, they hire 5 people from St. Thomas, Jamaica. 5 officers from St. Thomas, Jamaica. Why couldn't a Caymanian or Caymanians been hired? Why can't Caymanians be get hands-on training and go back to school or college or do online courses to meet the level and criteria of what is needed? Why is there 5 officers had to come in from Jamaica into the Cayman Islands to work as a DEH officer? You see, nobody isn't questioning these kind of things. We need to hold our people who we put in power accountable, and that is not being done. And you know what's actually causing it? Too much pride. Too much pride. Because when you stand up and you speak up, all you can hear out of people is, oh, that's a troublemaker and there's nothing good can come out of it. But at the end of the day, that said person is fighting for the rights of them, their children, their grandchildren, and the Cayman Islands. You understand? They refuse to stand up together and stick out together, come out in numbers and say, okay, enough is enough. How far are they going to allow this to go? How far are they going to let Cayman to sink? And you know what's so sad? Is that when these foreigners destroy our beautiful island where God has lent us, what do you think they're going to do? They got their nice business set up back home from working here. They got their nice houses. They're going to take the plane, the boat, or swim to where they come from. We Caymanians will have to stay here and waddle in it, and they're not seeing that picture. They are not seeing that picture. Caymanians, we have to say, we put these people in power. We are the ones who hire them and put them in that House of Parliament. We are the ones who can fire them. Bear that in mind. It's time we stand up, and it's time we speak out, and it's time we say enough is enough and take back what is ours. For the sake of our children, grandchildren, and future children, future grand. You understand? So please be wise. Be careful. Think of how you're going to vote this upcoming election. You understand? Sit down and say, well, you know, I need to figure out who have these islands and our people, our communities at heart. Who produces things, who got things done, who has been working in the communities, who you see in the communities, not only upon election time, you see them coming in, you understand, but all year round. If you call them, who returns your call? Who assists in what your needs are? You understand? All of that needs to be thought out carefully. And by God, if they don't meet the one mark, you all know they gotta go. They got to go. Seek new people to put in who you know for sure that cares about the community. That you can trust. You understand? That you know will not, once they get in, they will not be sold out and turn their back on the community, and the needs of the communities are not met. Because by God, the needs of our communities, especially in Georgetown, are not being met. You understand? And it's sad. So
thank you. Leave me there with those comments, Miss Amelia. Yes, ma'am.
Vote wisely.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, folks. I do have to charge up the phone a little bit. I didn't realize it's almost dead, but we'll go till it dies. Good morning, caller.
Morning, Sandy.
Morning, dear.
It's me again. This is something I don't usually do.
Oh, thank you, Miss Amelia. Yes, sir.
I'm listening to Miss Amelia. And I got to repeat what I've been calling about the last, I don't know, must be 3 months. Have them sign our manifesto. Nothing is going to change if you don't have something in writing where they have to do what we want them to do. I don't understand why someone is getting this. It might take some time to get it done, but if it takes 20 years, it might work out for us. Have them sign what we want them to do. and then they'll get up a vote. They will kill us with promises all the time, and nothing's going to change once they get in.
But what happens if you have them sign this document and they don't fulfill it? Then what you going to do?
Then you have something to hold them on. They're going to have to or go without pay. Simple. Just like any other contract.
So you're advocating for being able to remove them outside of the 4 years?
Yes. Once they don't do what we want them to do, because we are hiring them, they're not hiring us.
Mm-hmm. And how are you going to remove them? You'd have a by-election, or how would that work?
Whatever it takes, we can figure it out. But we got to get it done, because if we don't do it, it's going to continue to happen over and over and over till our great grandchildren have great grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
It's simple. Right. It's easy to fix. Let's look at two houses. The House of Assembly and the house you live in. Who's the boss in that? Who hires who to do the work?
Mm-hmm.
And either one. So you see, we working in reverse.
Mm-hmm.
They're hiring us. If you look at it, we're not hiring them. We are the boss, but we're making it look like they're the boss because they're doing what they want to do. It shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
We got to fix that. I'll leave it there, but I'll be talking about this some more in the future.
All right, thanks. I appreciate it. 936-2626. I'm going to charge up the phone just a little bit. I noticed the red light is on. Didn't realize it was at 5%. Oh my gosh. Give me a couple minutes. Get a quick charge on it. Some very, very interesting comments coming through. We have Misha says they like to micromanage you and say how they're going out on a limb for you, yet disrespect you intelligently. Are they doing it intelligently even, Misha? I have to wonder. Dee Dee says, Sandy, everyone in leadership, management, supervisor, etc., needs to read Ezekiel 34 and let it sink in. They will be held accountable for oppressing others. Oh. Gabby says your life is worth more than a job. Look at the lady in the US who was found dead at her desk after 4 days. Nope, not me. And nobody even missed her. That's the worst part. Nobody even knew she was dead at her desk for 4 days. You can imagine. Let me see here. Jason says kaboom to Miss Ramelia. Thank you very, very much. Damon says lack of consideration for the country and people. They have a job and getting paid well and are not worried. Aliano says give Miss Ramelia kaboom. She's speaking truth, says Daniel. Morning, Daniel. What a hot mess. Cameron says nothing wrong with too much pride. False pride is what's dangerous. Well, too much of anything is not a good thing. Urban Thread says we Canadians say this all the time, and then when election time comes around, they vote in the same people. Sometimes they get voted out, though. Trust me. So, y'all have the power. You got to know that. Simple C says we put them in power and they still sell us out. What a hot mess indeed. El Rey says Caymanians have the say, but are not making the play. Ooh, I like that. That's a nice little slogan. All right. Damien says, when are we going to get immigration labor reform? Well, don't hold your breath because this group definitely isn't doing it. All right, here we go, folks. So I was saying that, that bit of information this morning about Miss Julie and her attitude towards her workers, allegedly, is not a good look at all. Now, Miss Ramelia mentioned DCFS, and some people that left the organization, and one person said that, well, one person left after 20 years of barely doing any work, and they're not sure why the other person left. All right, then, let's see. All right, let's talk about fiscal mismanagement. So yesterday in Cabinet, I was getting some sauce that apparently Cabinet was getting very, very heated yesterday. Now I know y'all thought that Julie could, that she could control her Cabinet. They were claiming that, Mr. Panton, he was, what was the word that John used to describe him again? Authoritarian or some bigly word. in the words of Trump. Some bigly word that we know John doesn't even know what it means. Somebody wrote that speech for him. But it's so autocratic, I think was the word. But it's so interesting that he says that, but he does not talk about how Auntie Julie is probably one of the most autocratic people in the world. And she tries to rule them with an iron fist. They're all shaking in their boots and afraid of her. That's why you guys chuckle when they come over here. You know, France Manderson would love to be able to come on CMR and talk to all the civil servants that we have listening here every single day. Right now, we have like 500 people on the live stream between our social channels. But here's the reality of it. He knows with Auntie Julie pumping almost $3 million into Radio Cayman, they're going to run over there and try to boost her up, you know, Radio Cayman, regardless of whether they're reaching the people or not. He's afraid of her. Everybody's afraid of her. Well, except me. And hopefully all of you are not afraid of her either. She's but a mere mortal. Okay. And she's an elected official. And so y'all should have no fear from people like this, because as the previous callers have said, rightfully so, you have voted them in. Jason said he's not afraid of her either. Good for you, Jason. Speak up, honey child. Yes. But you know, she rules with an iron fist, or she attempts to. And despite that, well, some people, it is hard to rule some people, because they are just, honey child. They're like unruly children. They're going to do whatever they want to do when they want to do it. And you can whip them from now to eternity and they're going to still do it. So I understand that I'm still trying to get all the sauce. It'll come. That yesterday got very, very heated in cabinet. Oh, honey child. And what do you think it got heated about? Say it loud. Say it loud. The school of opulence. Money, 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 money. This government is hemorrhaging money. And I need the people of the Cayman Islands to please, for God's sake, pay attention, because they are going to impact our. You think things tough now? Huh. Listen, big shout out to Alden McLaughlin. If the man is right, the man is right. If he's wrong, he's wrong. And you know, we don't curry favors with people. I'm going to tell you all like it is. On yesterday morning, we were talking about their meet and greet, right? Now, Mr. McLaughlin, somebody forgot to tell him he's no longer party leader, because he got out there and spoke more than Joey Hugh did. However, some of what the man had to say made sense and some of it didn't make sense, okay? Today, I'm going to focus on a part of what he said that actually made sense. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk about some of what he said that doesn't make sense from the perspective of what they have done, not so much what he's speaking about an ideal situation, because he's still pandering, oh, you know, the country needs parties because we work as a team, we're cohesive, blah, blah, blah. Independents can't get nothing done. There's some degree of truth to that. And then the reality is also, yeah, it's not entirely true. Because the PPM has had their messy situations, even as a party. But they're very good at keeping it hush-hush. Well, they have been in the past. Because there was no CMR breathing down their necks, getting all the source and all the information. That's why they've been able to hide stuff from y'all, but no more. We're on top of all of them. You know, the funny thing is they always be blaming each other. Oh, you're leaking information. How Sandy know we were fighting in cabinet yesterday? William Patton's no longer here. This one's no longer here. How Sandy know all this? The walls have ears, honey child. We know a lot that's going on. I'm just saying. Anywho, here's what Mr. Alden McLaughlin said, Speaker of the House. He's a little bit conflicted as Speaker of the House, but anyway, you know, we'll have to address that again in another day.
Common purpose, there's no common vision, and consequently, there is very little production, very little done in the 3.5 years since they've been in government, except spend a whole pile of money. In 8 years, almost 8 years in the government, we never borrowed $1. So far, these folk have borrowed $350 million, and they're about to borrow another $150. $500 million. Now you tell me, I keep scratching my head, where is this money being spent? And it is matters like that ought to concern all of us. Because if government runs up a big debt again, like it did before we took office in 2013, it is every one of you who live here that have to help pay that back. That's when fees go up, that's when duties go up, because government has to service its loan. Business and government ought to be about taking some of the pressure off of the people, not putting more on them. And running up the kind of debt that they are running up in 3.5 years is a dangerous trend.
All right, folks. And, like I said, even a broken clock is right twice a day. Alden McLaughlin, in this segment of what he said, is speaking truth 150%. Okay? This is right. This is correct. This is rightful information here. Because I tell you what, I have been saying it for a very, very long time. This government has got the formula wrong. Their solution, and this premier in particular has been leading the charge on this, her solution is to throw money at every problem. And that is not a solution in a lot of instances. It's not about the money you spend or the dollar amount you spend. And then when you have other ministers who themselves have no concept of being fiscally responsible, they don't understand the necessity to budget. They don't understand the necessity to save money and have a reserve for hard times that could be right around the corner. That is a problem. Now, I'm going to tell you, despite what Alden McLaughlin has said here, and like I said, the man has spoken truth in this moment, their actions do not coincide with what it is that they're saying. And this is where I have a problem with this opposition. They have barely been an opposition that is worth being called an opposition, right? Because if this is your position, as rightfully it should be, and you understand the dangers of this overspending, why then did you get up in Parliament and actually support the government budget? They all voted in favor of it. Why? Why would you do that? You don't tell us that the government is hemorrhaging money and they're going to, put all of our children and grandchildren for generations to come in debt. And this is going to push up the cost of living even more, right? For every single one of us. You don't say that and then turn around and sign off on their spending. No. If you truly believe what you have just said in relation to their overspending, which is accurate, they just borrowed millions of dollars. That's why I tell you, when poor Mr. France Matterson talking about, they had a savings in their HR budget. Mr. France Matterson, with all due respect, the government ain't got nothing called savings or reserves, really. Nothing. Right? This is false accounting 101. But if you really believe that, and you're going to now turn around and campaign on the fact that the government has done this, please explain to me, how on earth can you justify making that type of a statement when you yourself saw the issues with the budget, saw the overspending from December when they were looking at the budget? They were talking about, we're gonna have to increase fees and do this, that. You saw all of that coming. So, have it make sense. I don't understand it. Vote against it and show the people that you're not going to support this kind of hemorrhaging of the government, of the people's money in this community, in this country. This is where you're talking nonsense now. Okay? What you said is factual and it's correct and it makes sense and they're indebting us. But then your actions don't coincide with that. And then there were other things that they said that, that Mr. Alden, my apologies, said that really doesn't make any sense. And again, what you say and what you do are two very, very different things. So right before that, he actually praises at Juliana O'Connor Conley. You see, I keep telling you guys that they're in bed with her, not literally, obviously, but politically they're in bed with her. She's still a PPM member. They have these little closed door meetings where she's like, we got PPM can take it back next time. And they're going to promise her something or another. I don't know, give her Speaker of the House, give her this, give her that. She's going to be in a cushy position because again, we all know she's a double-edged sword. So she goes with the winning team, regardless of who that is. And she will always come out on top is what she believes. So he actually says, Let me read this bit. Hold on. All right. This is 8 minutes and 57 seconds in to this speech of his. By the way, big shout out to AI. Child, I've learned how to do proper transcripts and all sorts of stuff. But this is what he says now. He says, I take my hat off to Miss Juliana. Say what? Hold on now, honey child. You say that at 8:57. Then you turn around at 11:27 and says that they've accomplished nothing in 3.5 years. They've been very little production in 3.5 years, except to spend a whole pile of money. This is double speak, folks. And this is the level now at which we need to start digging into what people are saying. Mr. Alden, how can we trust you, right, to really be about the people's business? If in the same speech, you say that you are, let me get his right. Let me get the exact words now, because I don't want to mince his words, that you're taking your hat off to her. And then a couple of minutes later, you're talking about how they're overspending and hemorrhaging money. Why would you be taking hats? You can't have it both ways. And she's been there with the PAC government, and she is there now with this government. And let me be very, very clear. One of the reasons why she had to get rid of Mr. Wayne Panton is because he was not going to give her $50 million for the school. He proposed a compromise. And the compromise, folks, was to give her $30 million to start off with and see how you go. Now, my understanding is, and I told you guys that this was coming, my understanding is that the government is in such a poor fiscal position and they are hemorrhaging so much money. Listen to this, that they have done some sort of a, I forget what the proper term for it now, but they've done some kind of like a survey on this project, right? The cost has already gone up for the project. And I told you guys this, did I not? Did I not say to you that there's no way that this $50 million school is going to be $50 million? It's going to become a $75 million school by the time it's all done and said? It's all said and done? Well, as it turns out, those are the projections now already. And they've not even broken ground yet. Cayman Brackers, we have got to, and Caymanians at large, we have got to stop this project. Y'all hear me? Now, y'all can get out in front of bulldozers and all kind of stuff when you're ready to protest the situation. Y'all need to save this country $75+ million. Because if they're making projections now that it's actually going to be $75 million and not $50 million, that's going to be north of close to $100 million by the time it's said and done. Listen, I'm not trying to be an alarmist this morning. I'm trying to impart on you all the severity of this situation. And quite frankly, how we all need to be extremely concerned. Do not rejoice that every single solution for this woman is to throw money at it. That's not a solution. That is someone who does not appreciate fiscal management. And if your government doesn't appreciate fiscal management, this will have a very quick trickle-down effect on the rest of us. That is why countries like Venezuela, despite being rich in oil, is one of the poorest countries in the entire world. Because the bottom line is, someone said the other day, we don't need reserves. You just need to figure out how to make money. It doesn't make a difference how much money you make. If you have no control over your spending, you will forever be in debt. How many of you have not seen millionaires, right, making millions of dollars go bankrupt and go broke and busted? Because there's no equality between what they make and what they spend. They're outspending what they make. And this is the formula under which this government is operating. And it is extremely dangerous. And once it begins, it is hard to rein in, and it is near impossible for future governments to fix it. Where are they going to get a surplus from? as Alden rightfully said, they're going to have to increase all sorts of fees on we the people. Where else do you think the money coming from? It's very limited how this government makes its money. Good morning. Hello? Hello? All right, well, you're calling on the wrong number if you're trying to call the show, honey child. Call the next number. But yes, y'all understand what I'm trying to say? This is a problem. What a hot mess. Al Ray says there is no free lunch. There's a cost to everything. Of course. Anyone remember when Arden told him he was going to bankrupt the country? Told who? Told that former premier Alden? Well, listen, they've all done some degree of spending, but this what's happening now is ridiculous. We need to have a closer look at exactly what government is spending their money on. Almost $3 million now she's going to be given Radio Cayman. Why? Ask yourselves the question, why? You see, my brain hurts when people think that in the space of media, you need to be spending millions of dollars to get the message across to the people of the Cayman Islands. Listen to me. Take it from me, because I might know a thing or two on this topic, huh? Right? I have set up CMR on what most people would say is a shoestring budget. I'm not spending no millions of dollars. Caller, are you trying to call the talk show? Good morning. Hi, are you calling the show? Yes, are you calling the talk show? Because I'm on air right now. Are you trying to call the show? Okay, I'm on live radio, so you have to WhatsApp me, but I think I just sent you the number to call about the passport. Okay, well, I can't talk to you right now because I'm on live radio. You understand? Okay, all right. Yes, we can tell the English wasn't too hot there. Another one that got in that makes you wonder how. Lord. Just send them a WhatsApp message about the passport. They might not answer your call, but just WhatsApp them. They WhatsApp me this morning, so then WhatsApp must work. All right. So listen here, folks. These are some serious times. She told us, in fact, that she was going to do this when she got in. She said Radio Cayman is her favorite station, and she's going to give them more money. She won an OC show. I'm going to give you guys more money, yada, yada, yada. No question about no performance matrix, no data. Why does she think that by giving Radio Cayman more money, remember she said this back in December of 2013 when she got in. Again, I need to find this video clip because we do have it. Why does she believe that giving them more money is going to somehow elevate their status in the community and make them more relevant? Y'all think that that's what Radio Cayman's problem is? That's not what their problem is. You know what the biggest problem is? They're civil servants who just don't get it because they've been doing the same thing in the same way for the past 50 years. Or however long Radio Cayman has been around. No fresh blood, no nothing fresh over there, and they just don't get it. They think like civil servants. That's their problem. And because they're owned by government, that's also part of their problem. So the things that they really need to say, called the truth, and how they need to be hard-hitting and how they need to be critical of the government, they're not capable of doing that because they're over there licking Auntie Julie's boots. Or her Crocs or whatever it is she's wearing. That is the biggest problem. It ain't got nothing to do. You don't need to give them $3 million. Come now. Pick sense from nonsense. Right now, for the record, let me just have a quick look on YouTube. Oric Connor has 31 people watching him. And let me assure you that that's actually a good day. Because sometimes it'd be all 5, 6 people watching him. 31 people watching him right now. Why? Because he's over there with a muzzle on his mouth. He can't tell you the truth. He can't talk about how this government is hemorrhaging money and how they shouldn't be giving the station that he works on, no $3 million of the people's money because there's been no business case for it. There's no justification for it. Right? That entity is not being operated like a business. It's being operated like a charity that has an unlimited fund because, everybody's going to kiss her royal behind and they're all friend business and whatever. This is in real time right now. Okay? Let me show you by comparison the numbers because the numbers don't lie. And I don't care how much Julie wants to make stuff up. The numbers don't lie. All right? So she can pretend and live in la la land. She knows nothing about social media, journalism, news, nothing. None of them, in fact, in cabinet. You could argue that maybe Kenneth Bryan knows a little bit more than the rest. They don't understand this space, not at all. And yet they're going to make decisions on where to throw money at a situation. Okay, have a look at this. Right now, this is our live stream. We have 200 has gone up to 3 people on Facebook. But when I just screen grabbed this, we had 250 people listening on Facebook, 240 people listening on YouTube, and another handful over there on Instagram. Why? Because we have a $5 million budget? No. Because we are sitting here speaking to the people on topics that you care about. Outside of the 31 people over here, these are the topics that you care about. It is simple. And also, it is simply the truth that I'm not going to sugarcoat it no matter who it is. The people are sick and tired of being sick and tired and of being pandered to with misinformation. If you want to fall asleep in the mornings, go listen to Radio K-Man. I'm just saying. Those are my friends over there. Big shout out to OC. But you're not with the times, honey child. Y'all need to do something different, and y'all just don't have no clue what that different is and what the formula is. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. Another reason why it's frustrating to listen to Radio K-Man, because I do listen as well. Like sometimes, the topics are interesting. Okay. But when you want to call in, it takes you like 5 years to get on the radio to say what you have to say, and then they give you like 30 seconds.
And is that because
it's very frustrating?
Let me ask you a question. Is that because they have so many people calling?
Commercial break? No.
Oh.
Because they constantly go into commercial break.
What a mess.
I mean, I understand the commercials, but like you can't even finish your thought, and they're like, "Okay, we need to go to commercial break," and I'm like, "Okay, then."
You have to balance it, of course. I mean, I actually need to be doing more commercials. I'm going to play one now that you just reminded me. we need to be doing more commercials, but listen to me. There has to be a balance, and there's actually a formula for how many commercials you play for how much talk time you have. Maybe they don't know any of that. I don't know.
Well, their formula is off because they play more commercials than they talk.
Lord Jesus, what a mess!
All right,
thank you, caller. And, even since we've reduced our time to 2 hours now, I understand the difficulty of that. And I'm working on in my brain how to tweak it. And I think there will be some tweaking that will happen, folks, when we, and a lot of mornings we go into overtime. But, some mornings I have to kind of cut it right at 9:30 because, I've got to go to court. I'm trying to bring you guys updates and news and whatever. But yeah, speaking of commercials, let's play one right now, honey chill. Hold on a second. Big shout out to Rotary, who has a carnival coming up, circus, I should say. So make sure that you guys check out this event. It's this weekend. If you haven't gotten your tickets already, completely NPO. They're doing this to raise money for nonprofit organizations.
gentlemen, boys and girls, get ready for the biggest family-friendly event of the year. The Rotary Club of Grand Cayman proudly presents Circus International. 3 unforgettable days of incredible entertainment, fun for all ages. Join us at the Lions Community Center on October 17th, 18th, and 19th. Don't wait. Grab your tickets now at menagerie-productions.com. Come see Circus International. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, get ready for the biggest family-friendly event of the year. The Rotary Club of Grand Cayman proudly presents Circus International. 3 unforgettable days of incredible entertainment, fun for all ages. Join us at the Lions Community Center on October 17th, 18th, and 19th. Don't wait. Grab your tickets now at menagerie-productions.com. Come see Circus International.
All right, folks, go check it out. Circus International this weekend. Make sure you grab your tickets. Going to help some nonprofit organizations there. Now, we have some tickets that we're going to be giving away. So make sure you listen to tomorrow's program because we're going to give away some more tickets. We did some yesterday. They'll reach out to you. I need to actually check my messages over in that phone, but they'll reach out to you and we'll get you some more tickets as well. But go buy tickets, support these amazing events that are happening in our community. So yeah, I mean, listen, if as that caller said, now I must admit that I haven't listened to them in quite some time, and I don't tend to have the time really to listen to Radio Cayman. But if the caller has said that this is one of the problems, and I know for a fact that that's one of the problems, because remember when we did, and again, I can go back in my archives and find this video clip. We actually, when she was on there back in December, you guys were saying, like, a caller called in and said, one of the problems is, you guys are not taking calls and yada, yada, yada. And you remember what she said? Oh, I hear you saying, and then she summarized what she thought the caller said. And that's actually not what the caller said at all. So I'm thinking to myself, it's clearly an issue. And the biggest issue is, obviously, Juliana O'Connor Conley does not listen very, very well, despite winning some made-up, listening award. She just does not listen. She does not listen to the people. And this is a big problem. A caller called in and said XYZ, and then she interpreted that and heard something else. I'm going, is this woman deaf or what? Because that's not what was said. So it really does make you wonder if you're incapable of listening. Hold on, I think I have the clip here now. Yes. So this was back last year. Hold on, let me just download this real quick. This is why I need to organize my my clips and stuff a little bit better than I do, to be honest. But this is her back last year promising when she took over the government. This was her first public appearance on a radio. And this is her promising that she was going to give the radio station more money. And remember at the time we were like, why would she do that? What is her business case? What is the data that demonstrates that giving Radio Cayman more money is going to make one bit of difference in their performance? She claims that they're meeting the need of the people. I mean, first of all, she's speaking in doublespeak because what she says actually does not make any sense. On the one hand, she claims that they are, that camera, I think, zoomed in there. On the one hand, she's claiming that they are serving and meeting the needs of the people. If that was the case, you wouldn't be throwing additional money at them. So which is it? Listen carefully to what she had to say back in, I think it was December of last year.
I'll let a little bit of news out there. It's really not news, but Radio Cayman does now fall under the Premier's portfolio.
Yes,
so,
yes.
Premier?
I didn't even ask for that, but I'm happy to be the beneficiary and the recipient of that. And you guys know, I've made it no secret that this is my number one choice, Radio Cayman. It's the lifeline in good times and bad times for the Sister Island. Not only for the country music and the music that comes out on Sunday, and your respect to still be diversified to the extent that is wholly representative of the people that we elect. So I am ecstatic. I couldn't find a better adjective to say to through having cabinet office and being in charge of Radio Cayman. So I'm really excited about that deep dive to look and to see what is there in the budget, because as you would have noted, that this is my first public appearance, and I don't think there's any other deserving media, not that they're, well, 99.9% respected, but Radio Cayman and GIS should be that medium that government puts its news out. It's the people's entity. It's being paid for their.
So I stand corrected. This was November of 2023. And this was the foolishness that she was saying then.
Competent people there who actually are real journalists. And the interest is get the news out to our people. And so I am anxious to look at a budget, because I want to make sure that the necessary infrastructure is here so that y'all indeed would be on a level playing field and can compete. And it's I'm a person that looks at the half glass full. So from that comment, what I can extract from that they are desirous for more time.
Yes.
So that is the litmus test to tell me that you're doing the job that they expect and they want some more of you. And if that's what it takes to communicate.
You see, that's not what the person said, you know. I'd have to go back and pull the caller part of it, because this was just that clip. But that wasn't what the person said. The person didn't say they were desirous of more time. What the person actually said is, when we call in, y'all not answering the phone. And then when you do answer the phone, as the caller just called in here and said, you are rushing us off. Oh, you only have 30 seconds. How did she get from that? Oh, they're desirous of more time, so you need to expand your show. That's not what people said. If you do a 2-hour show and you have your parameters within 2 hours, you prioritize your callers. There are some days, even here, I say, callers, listen, we got a story to tell you. We got some things that we're working on. And quite frankly, we're not going to take a whole lot of callers. You manage people's expectations. So how on earth did Julie hear in that segment the person say, oh, we want more time, we want more Radio Cayman? This woman is delusional. And how she's handling the people's money and this budget right now is delusional as well. That's why we have a school of opulence that's going to run us, almost $100 million by the time it's all said and done. It came and back for less than 200 students, for children who are already performing well with what they have. Some infrastructure improvements could definitely be utilized there, but $100 million, $75 million, $50 million worth? I don't think so. And the same thing with Radio Cayman. The things that they need. Whatever happened to the youth show that they had, right? That youth show, what was it called again? I can't even remember now. I was a host of that many, many moons ago. That has been axed. And you know what happened? When the ministry said, okay, let's restart Youth Flex. Let's restart Youth Flex. What do they come? They come with $150,000, $200,000 budget, and how to relaunch and how to restart the show. Why? You can do media on a shoestring budget. You don't need to spend that kind of money. People will listen to you as long as your media is relevant. And it is the relevance, that point there, that they seem to miss. You can throw as much money as you want. You're never going to solve the problem. And it's going to be the death of this country because of what they're doing. Don't worry about her, Aliano. He says, wow, that real journalist dig, Miss Sandy. Please. She needs to learn how to speak and stop using all these word salads that when you really listen are a bunch of fancy words that don't say much of anything. Don't y'all worry about it. You heard me say the other day, I started a new course. It's because of people like her. Because somehow they think they can step to me any day of the week about, we need a real journalist. I'm working on that degree, that postgraduate degree. When I get that little piece of paper, I'll go drop it right in her desk. Hopefully she won't be premier or a minister anymore, but I'll go drop it right in her desk and say, there you go. Satisfied now? It doesn't change that CMR is the #1 media outlet in the Cayman Islands, does it? But get the piece of paper, because when people like her try to step to you, you can show them, boom, with distinction, honey child. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sandra.
My dear, how are you?
How are you doing?
Not too bad. What's on your mind?
A lot of things, but I will only tell you a few. First, I want to commend you on your show.
Thank you, sir.
What is what is interesting about your show and one of the things that makes it so popular, people can get to your show and call in and express themselves. I'll say so publicly. Radio came on. Sometimes I think they should just make that as a commercial station, because most of the time you cannot say what you got to say. You got to limit it.
Yes.
So popular.
Yes.
Okay.
There is a bigger question there of whether or not government should even be in the business of owning media. Thank you, caller.
Yeah. And another thing I want to say, I'm not in the political party, but what I can appreciate, what you said about Mr. Alden McLaughlin, one thing that he opened the eyes this morning of what you said about this overspending. We are being doomed. It's all a doctor can't see, and people are saying, where is money coming from? Where is money coming? We are spending our place out of this island. Okay? People coming in here, getting a lot of money, taking it back to their island, and they're coming in building up a fortune. We are going to be left holding the fact. We're going to have nothing. Oh my God, it's going to be so embarrassing to see what's going to happen to this island with all of this spending. Look at the United States now that some people cannot even put decent food on their table because of what? No recollection of where we're going, just spending all of this money into Ukraine. It never happened. Two things I would like to say, like I'm not in any political party, but a man like Alden McLaughlin and Mr. McTaggart. McTaggart is a genius. He's an economic genius. He should have more say into the budget of this island, what is spending and what should not be spending, because we are spending money like it's going out of style. Are we jealous of Mr. Dodd of how much money he got and trying to show him that we can compete with him or what? There's just too much going on in this island, and it's coming home sooner than later. Thank you so much for listening to me this morning, and I just hope that what I said is taken in the context.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate it. It was a little bit difficult to hear him. The connection sounded a little bit crackly, but we're off radio. So now we are just on social media. Thank you guys so much. But yes, I mean, these are the facts. People are speaking the facts. And like I said, I don't take any issue with PPM once they're speaking the facts. Now, a lot of times, unfortunately, they are not. So, they're engaging in misinformation and whatever. But the times that they speak the facts, I'm here listening. I listen to a lot of what they say. And it's important that we pay attention. So, to be very, very clear, this government is in so much money that now there's so much financial problems that now they are even fighting within themselves. What was the big hullabaloo about yesterday in cabinet? Yeah, boy. What a hot mess. Because when they screw us all and we all end up getting the short end of the stick, which we will, that's just how it works, right? We're going to be carrying the bag. We're going to be looking at the other members, not just Julie, because Julie is but one person, Yes, she tries to rule with an iron fist, but there's a lot of other strong personalities in there. And if they say absolutely not, guess what? If they all resigned in unison, we would have an election tomorrow. The governor would prorogue cabinet and we'd have an election, a snap election. My apologies. And maybe that's what needs to happen. Because, the UK is our overlords, honey child. They're sitting here watching everything. And they're not going to say nothing until the shit hits the fan. And then we're broke and busted. And they go, oh, you're FFR. You've run afoul of that. Now we have a problem because you have a constitutional obligation to make sure that you're fiscally responsible. You've not done that. So just like we have with TCI and other overseas territories, now we're going to step in. And dog eat our supper. Morning, caller.
Good morning, Auntie Sandy.
Morning, honey child.
You're 100% right with what you're saying. You're not. But the problem is, here are one of them up inside there, a bunch of hypocrites, and here are one of them up inside there is corrupt. Who not corrupt is corruptible. It's simple as that.
Or they don't have no backbone, and they're just sitting there scared. They're scared of Julie.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, but they're subject to being corrupted. That's what I call it. If they don't do anything corrupted, they're subject to being corrupted because they're waiting on this deal to happen. Well, I'm not gonna say nothing because I got deal coming down the line that I don't want about objector and all this kind of thing. They got stand their ground and say what they got to say. Speak what they got to speak. I mean, Mr. McTaggart gave us some little bit of snippets about the budget and stuff during over this term. You know, I watching some of his reports and stuff that he warned us. So he was warning, but warning ain't good enough. They should have denied it, even if that.
They should have voted against the budget.
Exactly, they should have voted against it, and even if it got passed, even if they voted against it, I do think that some of them voted against it in some instances, and some things
they signed off on it, honey child. The Hansards are there.
Okay, but I'm here because I thinking that even if they had voted against it, the government would have still got it passed with enough votes. You see what
No, they didn't object to it.
Well,
this is what I'm telling you. The PPM is hardly any opposition, especially because they're working with Julie.
All right, but you see what happened now. That goes show you all of them is corruptible. That's what it goes show. Or they just making it happen to make this government look bad. That's the only thing. They say, well, all right, then we got make it go ahead so that they could run the budget and the country could see a bad government is and do water mean next time. I hope the people learning from it. You know, so it's time for us Caymanians to wake up and try to vote people in that got backbone. They should start denying themselves some pay. They're giving themselves raise. They should what you call it, cut some of the salary. They getting too much money. You're one of them. They getting too much money for what they're doing. You're one of them. That's part of the problem now for years.
Thank you, my dear. Ooh, honey child, I'm eating my oatmeal. Somebody just asked me, said, Sandy, please pop off today. This person said, please, can you pop off today? All right, I'm going to tell y'all something about politics, right? Let me take another little bite of my oatmeal, honey child. Lord Jesus. These people think we so dumb. Good morning, Carla.
Good morning, Shasta. How are you doing?
Not bad, Jonathan. How are you? I missed you. Right. You haven't called me in a couple of days, man.
Well, like busy, you know. But then the back of the on trying to make money.
Good.
Sandra, first point I just want to make, and I guess I'll be stuck and repeat with this one, but it's how many people in the Cayman Islands, how many of our electorate voted for Miss Juliana O'Connor to be in the premier position here in the Cayman Islands?
Unfortunately,
here's
nobody.
Your answer. How many? Like what? How many?
Nobody, because we don't vote for that. But
so why do we expect we expect anything to be better in all reality here in the Cayman if we keep accepting this?
And let us think about this for a second, right? Let's think about this, Jonathan. We have members of Parliament, Kenneth Bryan, J. Ebanks, the cabinet, members of the cabinet, my apologies, Catherine Wilkes, Andre Ebanks, who's supposed to be an intelligent man. John, well, he's not so intelligent, but he's a warm body. All of these guys were the ones who got together and thought that Juliana O'Connor Conley was a better option than Ween Panton, and that they wanted to remove Ween Panton and put her in. How does that make any sense?
It makes sense from the perspective that we have a system which is by construct of contract designed not to stop inner corruption, but to facilitate it and to promulgate it. That is what our system is actually doing and is designed to do from the inside out. Okay? We can't expect to have anything improve if we keep allowing a very small group of people dictate the trajectory of Cayman, whether it is sociologically, whether it is monetarily, or any other shape or fashion. We have a country where a very small people, very, 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 as the previous gentleman stated, open to corruption, to graft, to profiteering, in a construct of contract which disallows them any culpability, any consequences personally for dereliction of duty, for outright underhanded corruption, and for failure to do what they have been given the privilege to do. So we keep on hearing Cayman complaining about the situation, right? But we need to look at the structure which we are subjugated to. Overall, and I've been having some conversations with other members of the electorate on this, we in Cayman, we know the tenuous position that we hold in this world. We know the somewhat real level of stability that we have as a British overseas territory. We also know that we are subjugated to the parliamentary system of representative democracy, but we are being failed by it. I think we need to look forward to a way to evolve without throwing the baby out with the metaphorical bath water, and demand that these positions are chosen by the electorate themselves. And if the Foreign and Commonwealth Office or the Crown itself has good sense and really actually does have the well-being and the interest of the Cayman Islands and all of her people, short-term, medium-term, and long-term, truly at heart, then they should open their eyes and open their minds to these necessities being allowed to evolve forth. In the absence of that, Sandra, we are going to be stuck in the same situation because, you know, yes, I see megalomaniacal qualities in all, certainly more exacerbated in some who are members of parliament, right?
Yes.
We have that. We need a system. We this is not positions that should be given trust. We don't have the checks and balances necessary to put forth what is necessary to be able to even demand of these representatives to do what they should do. They can do whatever they want. Cayman Islands people, Cayman Islands taxpayers, and let's just stop fooling ourselves and not pretend that we are tax free by any stretch of the imagination. We have the third highest cost of living index on this planet. Okay? We are taxed out the booyah every single day. Okay? Now, this irresponsibility inculcated with under the table profiteering, it's unacceptable. It is driving us into the ground. We all know it. But we're beating our heads against a wall, thinking that we're going to improve the situation overall without making those necessary paradigm shifts within the structure of government itself. I stand with Denny Warren's offering of the solution as it pertains to a recall. And that function being put in. We do not even have a referendum law properly in place. Why? Because it would go against the personal self-interests of MPs as opposed to the actual non-existent good governance of the Cayman Islands. And that, along with true transparency, is non-existent as well. Okay, I'm going to remind you and the rest of Cayman, we have an anonymous landowner as it pertains to this proposed or being bandied about idea of port facility up there in Breakers Way. The people are actually allowed to remain anonymous behind the vehicles of secrecy. And the government is not willing to say even who the individual and our individuals are. This is the level of decrepitude that we are trying to operate under, and it's a no-go. It's not feasible, and it's certainly, by any stretch of the imagination, Sandra, it is not sustainable. Where Cayman is walking down a road similar to the history of Cuba, similar, not exactly the same, as Cuba prior to Castro's revolution. The levels of injustice, the levels of abuse that Cayman and Caymanians, and to a larger degree, other people simply working here or operating under, is just continuing. It's getting more exacerbated. We have to look for those solutions. The solutions need to be part of public debate. We need to demand that any candidate, incumbent and or new, be willing to walk a gauntlet of unobstructed, unmitigated, uncensored debate on the public stage. And we need to put in structures that demand that these people are to be held accountable. Because you look at Poinciana, okay, $6 million plus over budget, no end in sight. The people who did not fulfill their remit as it pertains to construction practices, are they going to be held accountable? Are they going to be the ones made to pay?
Yep.
No. Are the people in positions of power and influence between in the civil service going to be held accountable and made to pay? No. Are the people who are MPs going to be held accountable and made to pay? No.
That's right.
The Caymanian people, the electorate who are going to be made to pay out towards these.
Listen to how bad it is, Jonathan, okay? Have this make sense.
Yeah.
The project in town, the so-called revitalization, we definitely need to put in an FY to see how much that's gone over budget. Obviously, it's gone over time. That's like the never-ending paving. But that's the never-ending project, right? What do we do with a company that has gone over budget, can't finish a project all now, right? It's not going to meet whatever goals that department, Mr. Colin Lumsden, thought was going to be reached by paving the damn road. I don't know how that's supposed to revitalize Georgetown. Let's just focus on the construction part. We've had complaints. Now, those people are Caymanians, so it is what it is. But we've had complaints about Robson Construction not paying staff, not paying pension, not paying insurance. You know, they hire foreign workers. They're not really treating them great because they're not paying them what they're supposed to pay them. All sorts of infractions. What does the government do? Does the government say we need to see, when you put in bids for the next project, Scranton Park, we need to see companies that are compliant with all of the laws, demonstrate that all of your pension is paid up, your health insurance is paid up, all this kind of stuff. They turn around and give them another multi-million-dollar contract to do Scranton Park. Why?
There you go.
Why?
Why? Because Cayman is corruption 100% from the inside out and from the outside in. The level of miscreant profiteering that is going on from the inside out and the outside in. It is a national epidemic. Okay? And the system that we have is doing nothing. It is designed to further this corruption, Sandra. It is designed to disallow accountability. It is designed to disallow real, sustainable, and valid democracy and the will of the people themselves and
Jonathan,
ourselves.
Can't agree with you more. We do have another caller, so let's grab this caller and give them an opportunity. Thank you so much.
Have a great day, Sandra.
You too. Morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Morning. To continue where Jonathan cut off, when you asked him about why would government give a contractor that has so much flaws, because it's commission based. If I have somebody inside the government and they can guarantee I get the job, I can guarantee them a commission off of what I'm getting. Easy as that.
Well, that sounds awfully illegal to me.
It is illegal, but it's happening.
Oh.
It is happening. Okay?
Do we have any proof of this? Because of course we would definitely expose it.
There's a lot of proof. The only thing they need to do is look into it very, very good. The fine point is right there, and I'm leaving it right there.
Well, y'all try and send Auntie the fine point now, you know, the fine print, because remember, say we just start reading, we just start using my what do they call progressive lenses, so I can read the fine print. So y'all send it to me, because now I can actually see it and read it. Send me the evidence, because there will be no stone unturned when it comes to corruption in this country. And if that is happening, that's a problem. My simple point is this. Any company or any organization who wishes to get a government contract, part of the procurement process should be that they show that they have a track record of compliance already. That is why the homes in West Bay, Lord Jesus, don't get me started this morning. From December of last year, people were supposed to be moving into those homes. Here we are almost a year later. And these poor Caymanians, remember, these are homes built for families who don't have unlimited resources. They can't go through the regular channels of going to the bank. They have to go through the National Housing Trust and get approved by them and then go to the bank in order to get these government homes. And all now, a year later, they can't get in their homes. Why? Because they're hiring people like Philip Hydes, one of the worst contractors in Cayman. Don't worry, part 2 soon come on his ass too. Right? They're not vetting anyone. And just because you're a Caymanian does not mean that you get a walk in the pass when it comes to government contracts. You have to be Caymanian, right? And you have to be a Caymanian organization that believes in being compliant with the laws of this country. It's as simple as that. It's not rocket science. It shouldn't be that difficult. I really have to wonder what these procurement documents look like. Honest to God. Magdalene says McAlpine has been awarded on that project also, and there were delays by them in the SIFEC project. No questions asked. Again, where are the project managers who are the civil servants for all of these projects? How is it that no government project is ever on time? And yet organizations like Health City can build this world-class facility practically on time, even though I'm well aware of some of the issues being caused by the planning department and their delays, which is a whole other show. Government is like ridiculous. No Poinciana point all now. Weeks ago, they were like, okay, we're finally going to be able to get the red card. Red my ass, because it ain't there yet. What's going on? Electrical issues, plumbing issues. That's not really. Where are you guys finding these crackerjack contractors from that you can never get a government building passed? No, sir. What a hot mess. El Rey says, slow down, Jonathan. It takes time to Google the meaning of them big words you're using. John LaRue says, who is Jonathan? Do we know him? Is he running for office? Jonathan Adam. He's Billy's son. Damien says, you don't know who Jonathan Adam is and his dad, Billy? Dictionary and thesaurus, says El Rey, done burn up by Jonathan. What a mess. All right. Urban Threads says, just wanted to know, can the governor put the election back to November like how it was previously was? Oh, by the way, speaking of election, let me go back to my transcripts now. One of the other things that Alden said, which I thought was so interesting. I'm telling you, these people, Priscilla, I saw your comments about why is it that the PPM, she says, why have they basically not been doing a better job? She says, honestly, the PPM should have been doing a more aggressive opposition, or did they just sit down and allow that? Of course they're sitting down and allow it because Julie and them are in the same bed together. They're just pretending like they're the opposition, right? Unapologetic says it's all politics, smoke and mirrors, while we eat it up like you're eating that bowl of oatmeal. Child, that bowl of oatmeal was good. Priscilla goes on to say, if the government was dismantled, it should be up to us to decide the next government. Well, you got to look at your constitution, because the constitution does not allow that to happen. If y'all wanted that, when we had constitutional reform back in 2009, y'all should have been advocating for it then. I'm just saying. Okay? Now, in his discussion the other day, and like I said, I'm going to pull some more clips out of this, he actually said at 7 minutes and 53 seconds in, he says, but all jokes aside, what we're doing tonight is essentially kicking off the start of the march back to government. So this is PPM saying they want to take the government, which we expect will be sometime in June. Excuse me. Let me stand that 1 second, yeah. How is it that Alden McLaughlin seems to know when the election is going to be called and the rest of us haven't been informed of this? Huh? You see what I'm saying to y'all? Isn't that interesting? So he's saying the election, I thought it would have been like April, May, like last time, but this man actually said June. Oh, I tell you, him and Julian bed together, and I mean, he getting the sauce. June election? Well, that's the first that we've even heard when the election might be, because a lot of y'all have been asking, and I told you, I don't know when she's going to prorogue Parliament and when she's going to set a date. But funny how standing up in front of his own people, mind you, it was only about 20 of them or less, he was able to say it should be sometime in June. Well, that's news to the rest of us. There you go. What a hot mess. All right, Jerry, good morning to you. Inspiring says, does Cracker Jack still exist? I think so. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen him in a while, but I think maybe. I don't know. Jerry says, well, if the government is in such a bad position, they have to be hiring Cracker Jack contractors. Well, listen, it's not that these contractors are not paid. And I mean, I don't know how they do their bidding and whatever. You know, they should be getting fair market value for the work that they're doing. It's just that a lot of times they're doing substandard work. Come and see when they finally open up Poinciana, when they finally deliver those government homes. They're going to be, you know, leaks everywhere, cracks and this and that, all kind of foolishness we can expect. Because apparently, I don't know how many homes Philip built, but this man don't even know how to get a square window square. So y'all go in to answer that question. Inspiring says, Jonathan is a smart man. He should run. John LaRue says, I think Billy Adam lived in Snug Harbor. It was a chronic complainer, if I'm correct. Oh, Lord. Billy might be listening to you this morning, John. He'll call about that, too. What a mess. Let me see now. Trying to balance the comments here. These contracts, says this person, are given to persons with a certain piece of jewelry. When you check it out, Robson Construction has been awarded the contracts for government projects this time. A few years ago, Ron Wilson was a lucky member, and before him, it was Philip Hides. Oh. This is how they look out for their brothers. They rotate it around. Brothers and what? Lodge brothers? What kind of brothers are we talking about here? I mean, I don't know who these people are in terms of their lodge membership, but there seems to be an implication here based on what we're reading that some kind of brotherhood. And normally when people refer to brothers in this way, they're talking about lodge members. All right. So the person goes on to say, in order to revitalize something, the thing must have been vital in the first place. Georgetown has never been a hustle and bustle town after 5 p.m. The only time Georgetown was bust after 5 was around Christmas, when Kirk Freeport would stay open until 10 or so on Christmas Eve. And when they used to have, I think it was Island Companies that had their annual event. Do they still do that even? They used to have it there in the little courtyard in town as well. Ever since the pandemic, the larger stores remain closed because of lack of business, and the redevelopment is a total waste of the people's money and will do nothing but bring nothing to bring life to Georgetown. Georgetown was never a night spot and never will be. And I'm going to have to agree with this listener to the program, because as we recall, even when Morgan Steakhouse was there in Georgetown, you know, they'd get a little business, but it was just such a poor location because people never went to Morgan Steakhouse. So they just, you know, it's a dead town for sure. Oh my gosh. What a mess. All right. Someone says, if you ever listen to someone and they don't make sense, It's the chief officer for the ministry that would be responsible for the contract. This person said earlier. Kaboom for earlier. Just getting a sec, sorry, to turn off the silent on phone. Just getting a sec to turn off the silent on phone. But PPM and the run over with the airport. Reality, there were ways to circumvent the procurement process, and now campaign promises are met. And how, campaign promises are met. What a hot mess. This person says, I love when Jonathan calls in. And such an intelligent and informed, he's such an intelligent and informed man. We need him in government, but he needs to tone down his vocabulary because John is trying to keep up. Oh my God. Back years ago, says another person, we had on the ballot who should be head of the government. And now for premier, we gone backwards. Really? When was that? I mean, I've never seen that on the ballot. So how far ago are we talking about? Listen, it's not that it can't be done. It can be done, but it has to be in the Constitution. So, the Constitution doesn't allow you to pick your leader of government. And the problem is, the difficulty of it is you don't actually know who is going to win. So you could be picking someone who at the end of the day does not even get into office. And then how would that work? I'm not quite so sure that I understand the full implications of that. Priscilla says June is too long. Mr. Dean says we no longer have a parliament. We have parliamentarians, good old boys club, and a den of thieves. Oh my Lord. Damien says that's Billy Reed, not Billy Adam. Siobhan says it would be hard to decide the next government because it's the same people running over and over again. No fresh, no new blood. So we get the same people, which will be the same results. Aliana says, I don't know what this Lodge Brotherhood is, but can a black man join? Lord have mercy. Simple C says parking in Georgetown is the biggest problem. And now it's even a bigger problem because they've actually taken parking spots away. All right, Jordan said earlier in the program, as much as I agree with the speaker's statements, the PPM has no leg to stand on when their own government spending and granting of concessions rival this government spending. Sir Alden's hypocrisy in this video needs to be addressed. If this overspending was such a huge issue, it is the prerogative of the opposition to challenge that in the House and in the public domain. Unfortunately, to the discredit of the opposition, they have been shamefully silent on this issue, only discussing, and unfortunately, I would have loved to read the rest of that because it was getting good. But yes, to Jordan's point, Jordan, I think you make a very, very well articulated and fair point as well. And that's why you say when they should have spoken up about it would have been when they saw the budget and should not have supported the budget. He speaks oftentimes, and so does the entire party, out of both sides of their mouths because, again, they are currying favor with Juliana, who is a PPM party member. It's quite frankly as simple as that. Sad, 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 sad day. What a hot mess, folks. All right. There was other stuff that he talked about. I don't want to go into too much overtime. We'll talk about it on the radio tomorrow because he then talks about the type of candidates that you should be selecting. So we're gonna dive into some of the people that the PPM are selecting and to see once again where their words do not coincide properly with their actions. And you know what them old people would tell you? They had plenty common sense, and you got to listen to people common sense. Actions speak louder than words. What else did we say? Words can say anything. Mouth can chat anything, right? Look to a person's actions. There has to be consistency in a person's action. If there isn't, don't believe a word that comes out of their mouth. It is as simple as that, honey child. On that note, thank you guys so much for tuning into the program. As always, you guys are amazing. This platform is here for you, the people. We love it. We love your calls. You know, I'm going to go charge up the phone, make sure we have a fully charged phone tomorrow, because I know you guys will be ringing off the hook as always. And it's about engagement. It's about discussion. It's about dialogue, right? That's the only way that we're going to try to make some meaningful change in this country. All right, good people, behave yourselves as much as you can. We'll be back here tomorrow morning at 7:30. Remember, the show is 7:30 to 9:30. We do have Meals on Wheels that is going to join us for a little bit, telling us about some of the fundraising events and stuff that they have coming up. Then the rest of the show will be open mic. On Friday, I believe we've got Mr. Wayne Panton, who is going to be on the program. And maybe we can get him to come in and talk about all this budget stuff. Because remember, he was the one last year telling the civil service, we don't have the money, stop spending. Then all of a sudden, they're borrowing money here, there, and everywhere, giving them a COLA, giving them an honorarium in December. That can happen again this December because it's right before an election and they're looking to buy votes. That's all what it is. Aliana says 50 kabooms and take away yourself. All right, folks, have a good day.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth on Bobo 89.1 FM. Cayman's #1 talk show is live weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Never miss an episode again. Watch anytime on CMR's Facebook and YouTube channels for the latest show episodes. Don't forget to follow us online on our social media channels. And visit CaymanMarlRoad.com for all the latest news and community happenings.